Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the High School Sports Zone, where we are setting the bar for high school football coverage in the UP. I'm your host, Jake Durant, joined by Haley Schoengart. Week 3 of the high school football season, it brought us a lot of good things. It gave us a little bit of everything. We had some rivals square off, some upsets, and an overtime thriller.
One of those rivalry games featured Marquette and Escanaba. It was beautiful weather for a really good game between two powerhouse teams in the GNC who were both looking to make a statement and get back in that win column.
Marquette was missing a few offensive weapons for this game against the Eskimos. Superstar Justin Jermu, he did not suit up for the Redmen, but they had some players step up.
Meanwhile, Escanaba was looking to use their home field advantage in their favor, as it was the first home Eskimo game since 2019.
A lot of turnovers in this one early. Both teams came out a little sloppy, probably a little bit of jitters from being in a big game in front of a hyped up crowd.
Once things settled down, Marquette was able to lock in and play their type of football. They had a handful of big plays that really blew this one open.
It began with the game tied at 7 when Owen Beauchamp snagged a fumble from mid-air and went the other way to make it 13-7 Marquette. After another turnover by the Eskimos on the ensuing kickoff, Marquette capitalized with a Austin Riddle pass to Peter Klausner for another score to make it 21-7, and they never looked back. Marquette secured the victory over the Eskimos.
Peter Klausner stepped up big time, and I mean he's really tall. He's like a jump ball receiver, and he broke 2 bubbles. One drive, it was all him. We were on the, I think, 35. I threw him a bubble to the right. He got 15. Threw him a bubble to the left. He took it to the crib. So he was looking good.
Anytime you can get these young kids in and get them quality minutes during the time when, say, the bullets are flying, I guess is the best way to put it. You can get them and they give you quality minutes. It's just great because that just gives us stronger down the line. Those two, the guys that we had out today will be back. And they'll be stronger than ever, but now we've got some depth there. And those 2 kids, Peter Klausner and Nate Benninger, played well, and Owen Beauchamp and Eberhard and Mullen, they were all on it. And biggest thing, really, tonight was our offense and defensive lines. They just played fantastic and did everything we could. We challenged them, and they came through.
One player who came up huge for Marquette in their victory last week was junior Peter Klausner. He stepped up big time in the absence of several starters. He had 5 receptions for 65 yards and a touchdown, and was the difference maker for the team in red.
It felt pretty good. I mean, I wasn't sure how much I'd played this season, and for them to call on me when it was time for somebody to step up, I mean, that's pretty big. So.
Don't go away. We're just getting warmed up here in the Sports Zone. We're going to reveal our top 3 plays of last week. It's our top 3-on-3 coming up after the break. Welcome back into the Sports Zone. If you want to reach out to us, you can do it on our social media feeds. It's at the Local 3 Sports Zone on Facebook and at the Local 3 Sports ZN on Twitter.
It's time to reveal our top 3 plays for week 3 of the high school season.
These plays were so good, we just had to go back for seconds. This is our top 3-on-3 plays of the week, sponsored by Recycle 906.
Number 3.
Our number 3 play of the week is courtesy of Paul Sturos of Calumet. Sturos calling his own number on the option play. He cuts on a dime and turns on the Jets for the score. Sturos came up big last Friday night in the Copper Kings' victory over the Westwood Patriots. He and Dryden Nelson make up a nice 1-2 punch for Calumet that should have them contending for the playoffs once again. Congrats, Paul. You get our number 3 play of the week.
Number 2.
Our number 2 play of the week features Owen Beauchamp of Marquette. Beauchamp was catching touchdowns on offense, and on defense he was making plays like this. He takes the bobbled handoff out of the mid-air and goes all the way for 6. The play here broke the 7-7 tie and gave Marquette the lead, and they never looked back. Marquette has playmakers all over the field, and Beauchamp is one of those players. Congratulations, Owen. You get our number 2 play of the week.
Number 1.
And for our number 1 play of the week, we go to Kingsford, where Nick Nora put on a show. The Flivers already with a large lead against Shawano, Wisconsin. Nora fielding the punt, and one thing I've noticed in the few times watching the Flivers play this season is when the ball is in Nora's hands, good things tend to happen. Here he takes the punt all the way back for the touchdown. He also added a couple scores through the air and 2 picks on defense. Congrats, Nick. You get our number 1 play of the week. It's now time for our updated team rankings reveal. Being about a third of the way through the regular season, we're starting to see who the contenders are and pretenders for that matter.
Remember, these rankings can and will change from week to week.
Here are our high school Sports Zone team rankings brought to you by 41 Lumber. We'll start in 11-man football. At number 1, we have the Kingsford Flivers. At number 2, we have the Menominee Maroons. In the number 3 slot is Marquette. Negaunee sits at number 4, and rounding out the top 5 is Westwood. Bark River Harris gets honorable mention.
And moving on to 8-man, North Central takes that number 1 spot after their 70-point victory last week. Pickford is number 2. At 3, we have Forest Park. Newberry sits at 4, and Ontonagon enters our rankings at number 5. Something to note is these top 4 teams are all 3-0, Jake. What do you think about these rankings? Let us know. Visit our Facebook or Twitter pages and give us your thoughts. Make sure to stay with us. We're just minutes away from revealing our 3rd game of the week for the 2021 season.
But first, we head to Kingsford to introduce you to a junior who is filling big shoes for the Flivers. That's coming up next. Welcome back into the Sports Zone. If you want to reach out to us, you can do it on our social media feeds. It's at the Local 3 Sports Zone on Facebook and at the Local 3 Sports ZN on Twitter. Also, you can keep up with us at upmatters.com/sportszone. The Kingsford Flivers are in the driver's seat, sitting atop the Sports Zone rankings at a 3-0 record. A big reason for their early success is the play of junior Nick Nora. Nora has shown he is a bona fide playmaker for the Flivers. He impacted Kingsford's game last week against Shawano, Wisconsin in all 3 phases. Offensively, he caught 5 passes for 94 yards and had 2 scores. He also returned a punt 73 yards to the house and had 2 interceptions on defense. Now, did I mention he did that in just the first half? Nora gave credit to his quarterback, Michael Meneguzzo, for getting him the ball on time, and also says he takes pride in being an all-around player.
Oh, it feels great, man, and in all aspects, too. I take pride in everything I do, and I got a great coaching staff and great teammates, so all around, it's just great. I thought, started off with the quarterback, Mike. I thought he threw me great balls, found me when I was open. Just all around, he found me in the right spots. Special teams is a big key. We stress on that a lot. I try to do my best on that because it's a 1/3 of the game and it impacts the game, so that's huge. In defense, I just found the ball, read the quarterback's eyes, and got a few picks to help us out there too.
Kingsford head coach Mark Navarra says a big part of their game plan is to get the ball into Nora's hands because, well, good things happen when they do.
You know, Nick's just a special athlete. You know, he's got some God-gifted abilities that are just most people don't have. He's also a great competitor. You know, he does not want to lose at anything. We're fortunate he's on our team.
Nora will need to come up big once again as Kingsford faces their biggest test yet at Marquette tomorrow night.
Forest Park head coach Brian Fabry is coaching in his first full season as the headman for the Trojans. Fabry has some big shoes to fill, preceding Bill Santilli and David Graff as head coach. The Forest Park program is a proud one with rich history, and Fabry says he's honored for the opportunity.
So the support system's been awesome. It takes a lot of guys to replace, 1 or 2 coaches that they had the tenure, they had the respect, they got the job done on and off the field. Between winning state titles and 11-man and 8-man, it's a lot to live up to. But looking forward to the challenge. And for me, being from growing up in Crystal Falls, I had 2 brothers go through the system before me. Being a manager is just a dream come true for me.
You could argue that the best game that happened last week involved Forest Park against the Ontonagon Gladiators. The 2 teams combined for 122 total points as Forest Park edged out Ontonagon in overtime 62-60 to move on to 3-0 on the season.
It was so many ups and downs in that game. I'm so proud of my guys. We got down by 10 going into the 4th quarter, and they had the ball. And I looked at them and said, well, we got to get a stop here, fellas. And they got the stop. We marched down the field, and it was just an awesome game to be part of, and so much emotions afterwards. It was unbelievable.
Forest Park will look for another win tomorrow night at Stevenson.
Coming up on the Sports Zone, we're going to reveal where we're headed for our next game of the week.
But first, we highlight another Kingsford player whose eyes are set on making it to the NFL, and we'll show you how two rivals came together as a way to say thank you to veterans.
Kingsford's Zack Person not only looks the part, but he's a force on both sides of the ball for the Kingsford Flivers.
His impact on the game is undeniable. His drive to be great is setting an example for the team.
Moving to a new school in a new town is challenging for any student athlete. To do it during a worldwide pandemic and during a shortened season with so many unknowns is almost impossible. Zack Person met that challenge head on in 2020.
Transferred here 2 weeks into the season and was a little bit nervous, but I really felt a part of the Fliver family. Everyone's been great. Coach Navarra, quarterback Michael, and we're really excited for the 21 season.
Zach's one of those, almost too good to be true stories. Got here with us last year, and it's like he's been here his whole life. Just a fantastic person, great family. We're just excited to have him.
Excited might be an understatement. At 6'5", 220 pounds, Person's unique size and skill set make him a true one-of-one type player. He's a matchup nightmare for opposing defenses.
Yeah, Zach, he's a hard worker. He leads by example. He's always in the weight room. He always just texts me, come catch, come throw, you know what I mean?
That I've been getting a little bit of attention on defense, double team, triple team sometimes, but that just opens up more opportunities for other guys. And then also being able to focus on defense for me, which has been great, and really been able to make an impact on that side of the ball.
Person says his transition was made easier by the culture that was already established when he arrived under head coach Navarra and his coaching staff.
We're all really close, and whether it's from a freshman to a senior, we're all really tight-knit, and everyone's staying together and always hyping each other up.
Person's abilities have caught the eye of universities at the next level. Person spent part of his summer visiting campuses, and in July he announced his verbal commitment to Division I Toledo.
Just chasing my dreams. I had some great opportunities to do some official visits over on the East Coast, and then obviously spend time down in Toledo, and that's where I ended up verbally committing as of right now. And Coach Dayton and Coach Candle, I'm really excited about the opportunity to continue my career there, and it's a blessing, and it's going to be a dream come true.
Just seeing someone make it D1 is great for the younger guys, great for the middle schoolers. It's just awesome to have them around.
And who knows, maybe one day we'll see Person playing on Sundays in the future.
That's my end goal, is to be in the NFL, and I really feel like that's a great next step for me in that process.
Our game of the week wasn't just the home of a good rival football game. Both the Marquette and Escanaba programs came together to honor those who served our country.
The Eskimo football program dedicates one home game of the season to honor those veterans who laid their lives on the line for our freedom. This year's first home game for the Orange and Black since 2019 just so happened to fall one day before the 20th anniversary of September 11th.
Well, really great, because when I come back from overseas, way back from Vietnam time, we weren't welcome. And now, what they're doing now, it makes all of us really feel great, really feel like it was worth it.
A warm welcome home, even if it was decades later.
It's great. It shows in the way a lot of people are nowadays. They're thankful for the veterans, and they show their appreciation, which is a big difference from when we came back.
To this group, the meaning is more than recognition during the game. It's all about camaraderie.
We understand each other, yeah. And we all know what everyone else went through, and yeah, that's an easy part there.
They're all, we're all veterans, but we all came from, some from the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard. But it's just nice to get together and chat and tell war stories. It's a good time.
The game isn't just marked on the calendars of the veterans.
Well, I think it's just great. I mean, they've they give their lives for our country. You know, they sign that oath, and they give that oath to defend this country with their lives. And anything we can do here at Escanaba High School, the Escanaba Fan Club, the Escanaba Elks, to recognize them, to welcome them with a meal and some fellowship that they're having right now, and hopefully enjoy a really good football game tonight.
Even for the visiting team, it means a lot to have these special guests in attendance.
I mean, it's really cool. I don't know if they were going for Esky or us, but I mean, no matter what, you know what I mean? Football is just a game, and at the end of the day, that's what matters right there. That's what we do it for, and we're lucky they serve for us so we can be out here playing right now.
Up next on the Sports Zone, it's that time we've all been waiting for.
We'll tell you where we're going to be headed tomorrow for the game of the week for Week 4, coming up next.
Now, Haley, this is the game that I've been waiting for since the schedules came out. This one has everything you could ask for and more.
And for this week's game, we are going to see if that momentum can carry over to Week 4. We are staying in Marquette County to watch arguably two of the best teams in the UP go head-to-head.
Kingsford Flivers are looking for revenge tomorrow night when they travel to Marquette for our game of the week. The Flivers lost a heartbreaker to the Red and Black last season, and there will be no love lost between the programs this time around. The two teams met for a scrimmage prior to Week 1, and from all accounts, things were chippy, physical, and a little bit of chirping was done. Both teams share similarities and understand to reach their ultimate goal, they're going to have to go through one another.
You know, I'm expecting a great game, all four-quarter game type of deal, and we've had this game circled on our schedule since last year. We had a heartbreaker to them last year. My offensive side of the ball didn't move the ball well against them last year, and we're coming with revenges this year against them.
Obviously, we didn't finish the way we wanted to, and beginning of the season, we knew we were going to be coming into a dogfight here in Week 4, and here it is, and we just can't be more excited about this game, and it's just preparing every single week.
And now on to the hosting team. After dropping 50 points on Escanaba last week, the Redmen are looking to keep that momentum going against the top-ranked Kingsford Flivers, which could be the biggest test in Marquette's schedule this season. The Redmen are determined to stack up some wins against GNC opponents. Last week, the Redmen were riddled with some injuries, but that did not stop the Red and Black offense from putting up some big numbers on the board. The hype around this game is already filling the air, and Marquette has their sights set on this matchup going full speed ahead.
Yeah, it's definitely stepped up the atmosphere this week. I know I've been excited about it all week. Kind of keeps me up at night sometimes, but yeah, we're definitely ready to go. So.
Most teams would opt to play a safe opponent for their school's annual homecoming game, but Marquette must live by the motto, go big or go home. Head coach Eric Mason says focus is the key heading into this matchup.
You know, I don't worry about the first place and all that kind of thing. The homecoming thing's a hurdle that we have to overcome. I mean, you run a fine line with, you know, focus and concentration throughout the week, and getting enough done at practice and through the games. And again, I count on this group to be, they're a veteran group as far as high school play and whatnot. They know me well enough. I know them well enough. So it's just a fine line of making sure that you get everything done, make sure everybody understands their assignments, and everybody's playing to their potential.
And that is all the time we have for you all tonight.
But before we sign off, Haley, you can't really have the full football game experience without the band. So this week we are going to send you off with the lovely tunes brought to you courtesy of the Gladstone Marching Band. Make sure to tune in to the Fifth Down tomorrow night on Local 3 News at 11 p.m. Eastern for highlights from all the action across the UP. Thanks for joining us and have a good night.